Thousands of towns and villages in Ukraine are currently without electricity and water. To be precise, according to Ukraine's emergency ministry, 1,162 settlements remain without power. In fact, from October 7th to 18th, as a result of shelling of energy facilities by Russia, about 4,000 settlements in 11 regions of Ukraine went dark. Russia has intensified aerial bombardment of Ukraine in response to the bombing of the Crimean Bridge. Russia had earlier said Judgment Day would come fast and hard for Ukraine if it attacked Crimea. Now, Ukraine seems to be suffering punishment at the hands of Russia on a daily basis. That's to the extent of Ukrainian President Zelensky admitting that 30% of his country's power stations have been destroyed by Russian strikes. Russian strikes against Ukraine's critical infrastructure are continuing, and as of Tuesday, Moscow struck Kyiv, Zhytomyr, Mykolaiv, Kharkiv and Dnipro. One-third of Ukraine's power facilities have been damaged, plunging thousands of settlements, including towns and villages, into darkness. But darkness isn't the only thing making life miserable for Ukrainians. They also don't have water and can't heat their homes as an excruciating winter season sets in. Ukraine warned on Tuesday of an emerging quote-unquote critical risk to its power grid. Kyrylo Tymoshenko, the deputy head of the Ukrainian president's office, said, and I quote, "The situation is critical now across the country because our regions are dependent on one another. It's necessary for the whole country to prepare for electricity, water and heating outages." Tymoshenko added, and I quote, "Everyone should be ready, first, to save electricity, and second, rolling power blackouts are also possible if strikes continue." He called on the population to quote-unquote prepare for a tough winter. Ukrainians have already been told to not consume electricity for 8 hours every day. That scenario is likely to get worse during the winter months as authorities force unbearably long blackouts upon citizens. Russia had not been striking any Ukrainian region apart from the front line for several months now. Even after Ukraine retook significant areas in the Kharkiv region in a lightning counter-offensive, Russia restrained itself from attacking critical infrastructure facilities. However, that changed after the attack on the Kerch Bridge in Crimea. Almost as if seeking retribution, Russia has been mercilessly raining missiles, drones, and rockets down on Ukraine. Ukraine is suffering significantly. The picture of it heroically standing up to Russia often negates the fact that the country continues to take a massive beating on a daily basis. Imagine yourself surviving without power and water in what are the most unbearable months of the year. There's no heating, so mortality rates shoot up. That means more Ukrainians are expected to simply die this winter, not because of Russian strikes, but because of the cold. However, Ukraine's power woes are not exclusive. In fact, what Ukraine is suffering today is soon expected to be replicated across European nations as they grapple with an intense energy crisis. The only silver lining for nations in the EU is that they aren't suffering Russian bombardment, at least yet.